Hi, everybody. Welcome to the March activation of Continuum. As I prepared to bring this activation into your reality, there is a lot of energy that I'm going to go through in today's activation, and it'll be wonderful to have what pings for you most in our live call in a couple of weeks following on from this. So I just want to acknowledge that there's a lot in here. There's a lot in here because even though it's March's activation, you will find that this may be one of the ones that you come back to quite a lot because there's a lot in there. And we know that this space of continuum is about shifting paradigms, allowing yourself to be more and more your sovereign expression and to stabilize that sovereignty. So the continuum, the continuation, which is not the fullness of continuum, but it stabilizes your sovereignty. So in February, the activation of the horse puts you in a continuous conscious relationship with the horse energy for this 12-month period. And today I really wanted to address the difference between information and universal intelligence. And what I deliver here in Continuum sometimes might sound like information, but it's actually universal intelligence. So it's to break down where people are locked into being over responsible, where you have to justify your choices. And a big one of mine, and I think that is very relevant, is how we've been programmed that everything requires effort, and so that everything done is in efforting energy, which means I'm in separation, means it's not here yet, and the unconscious reward system running you that says, I have to do this in order for this to happen. And today is about beginning to shift that dynamic. And because this sovereignty, this stabilization of your frequency, it can't really be understood, right? But the stabilization of it creates changes in your world and in your life that, if you try and explain them, may well be inexplicable, right? So why wouldn't we all want to be living an inexplicably wonderful life? And this is also the other key focus for today is around letting all of us are involved in businesses in some way, and we do have another new member who's in the UK. Just want to acknowledge lovely Charlotte, who's not probably going to be on live, but Charlotte and Martha, you're both in the UK, so hello, hello, hello. It's nice to be beaming into the other side of the world. But one of the other energies here is around persuader, and how programmed we are again to need to persuade and explain rather than being the door opener. So when you stabilize your energy as a sovereign being, automatically one of the automations that come in with that is you're a door opener to how things do happen rather than trying to micromanage how things are happening. So the more stabilized, the more doors open as part of the awakening mystery. And then your consciousness is in such a position that it's able to recognize that there is a door open, and then you choose to walk through it. And so in another month, we might actually work with the stabilization of confidence in this new energy. But it changes, when you stop trying to persuade people or explain to people, and you're opening the doors for people, which one feels like more fun? Serious, right? And of course, the two things that go very much with persuading is the how and the when and the why. Or even to a degree, no, that's not true. No, let's not go there. And So following on from today, I really want you to practice making sure also that you're including yourself in what you're choosing. One of the big misleading energies around being of service is it's now been infiltrated with being of service means that you don't include it, like it's all for external validation, it's all for external requirements, it's all external responsibility. And so this in this continuum, and certainly in the sovereignty work that I do elsewhere, this is very much about including yourself, because you are the magic, you are the possibility, you are the door opener. And if you don't include yourself in what you're doing, if this if it's if this is not, so for example, I get on a high to be able to share high frequency um, transmissions with you. I receive the high. I love doing it, but I receive the high, right? It's a highly expansive, truly connective energy for me. I could like that. That's what I'm happily receive that from me for me. And so with whatever you're doing, how do you include yourself in that? What is it that you're receiving in that? What is it that you're being in that? And consciously, excuse me, not only allow more of that, but actually command more of it. As a sovereign being, excuse me, commanding is not demanding. Commanding is knowing that it's already there, it's already done, this is already you, and you are claiming it, you are activating it. So with that, I do want to run through a couple of things here as well. Just bear with me. So where have my notes gone? So many notes, so many notes. Okay, so a couple of things before I do the activation. I'm just going to remind, oh, I don't know whether you can hear that big galah cockatoo just called. So I'm going to remind you, you are not just human. You are definitely human because you're here in a body, but you are a human having a multi-dimensional, conscious multi-dimensional experience. If you were just a human, you would be bored, bored, bored. And so part of your capacity to open doors is to open doors to experiences that people didn't even know were possible on this, on this planet. And it's not about rejecting the human experience, nor is it making it like, oh, it's so dense here and it's so difficult here. I mean, that is complete programming, right? Complete and utter. Slow everything down because, being in a body, which technically you're not, being with a body, still not quite the right wording, as a dense energy that slows you down couldn't be more of a lie than, well, it's just a very big lie, put it that way. Because you know a whole lot of magic around being actually in the human body and owning your unique magic. You know everything about that. Otherwise, you never would have bothered to come here. And so your awareness of energy without making it a necessity and a requirement. So energy, it's always frequency first, right? But you're not dependent on it, nor are you captured by it, nor do you use energy as the reason why and the reason why not. It's actually an awareness that you have, not a judgment. The universe doesn't judge good and bad energy. The universe just says, oh, there's energy over there. That's interesting. There's energy over there. That's interesting. So, this is where you might like to encourage yourself to shift from managing energy, explaining energy, correcting energy, and going into acknowledging it as information. But even more than that, it's actually cosmic intelligence with a signal, not a meaning and significance, intel. And then energy even becomes more and more and more of a strength, not something else that you have to manage. And so just in this moment, I'd like to just take a pause and pop your brains into circuit and allow your brain to collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disappear, dissipate, and evaporate all of the training and degradation and degeneration of the brain linked to the hemispherical functionality, mechanical functionality of the brain, and everywhere where that is actually limiting your infinite brain, your light brain. Any and all of that energy now can collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disappear, dissipate, and evaporate as infinite possibilities. Anywhere where you've defined your brain as being a problem, or your brain being the chief executive officer of your life, when in fact it's a general manager at best, any and all of that programming, infiltration into the elimination of your capacity as a conscious multidimensional being on this planet, any and all of that energy now collapses, disintegrates, dissolves, disappears, dissipates, and evaporates. There's nothing more amazing than having a fully functional brain with an infinite being and a body all playing together in ways that, surprise even us, because that's what it's all about, right? So anywhere where the energetic programming has distanced you from the infinite frequency intelligence, would you now like to collapse? No, we're actually going to pop all of that into the universal compost, right? And just allow it to reformulate. So I want to go back to the door opening energy that you are. And the door opener is not preoccupied with functionality or strategy. Let me come at it from a slightly different way as well. So I'm sure you're aware of there's many missing words in the current vocabulary, but you know that word that experience that is called excitement, but there's excitement, right? And then there's this other uh, infinite connectivity to something that just like is you literally sense it through all of your body and all of your being. And, be wary that you can get addicted to that. But it's not what I want to get into today. But what I want to talk about is this stabilization of that, because that word that's bigger than excitement, or that experience that's bigger than excitement, is actually a really expanded connectivity to the infinite. It's way more magnetic than effort. It's certainly more impactful and impactful and prosperous than strategy. And of course, it's even more empowering and connective than excitement. And you know that energy, and then you also know the energy of trying to work out how or what I have to do in order to make that happen. And again, we're very programmed, stroke addicted to that's the only way that things occur in this world. And as we travel through this year together in Continuum, that will become less and less relevant to you, less and less true for you. And more and more, we're talking about the field of energy and the field of frequency that you be without having to micromanage it or fix it or change it or clean it up even. And so your invitation today is beginning to delegate the how to the universe while staying very responsive to any of the impulses and that happen to you that are kind of weird. Like I think I can't remember which group it was that I shared this when I had an impulse to go to Myers and to go to the MAC lipsticks because there's a couple of MAC lipsticks that I really like that actually work on the screen. Anyway, long story, had this impulse and, which meant I had to go to what do you call them? A shopping mall thing. I love street shopping, right? It's my thing. In and out, back on the street, into the environment. And so, going to shopping malls I just get lost in there, right? Anyway, I follow the impulse, and lo and behold, there's an amazing young, oh, no, middle-aged woman in the managing the Mac store who ultimately did some work with me. And so knowing that you're opening doors and allowing that to be part of your impulse opens doors. What more can I say? And it's much more grounded embodiment than the excitement. So I know I use excited a lot and I love excitement, but Continuum is about creating a space where you're the greatest possibility of you. And when you delegate, you say, okay, universe, you work out the how. I've said, yes, I'm opening the door to me. So everything is inclusive of me. And then, move on and be aware. The trick here that I see a lot of people missing is that they miss staying tuned in for the impulse. Now, I also have a lot of people who use the term, my guides said. And to me, that's no different from listening to this is my personal opinion, you do it anyway. But to me, that's no different from mum told me, my guides told me, what's the difference, right? So there's a way bigger collaborative possibility with your guides, your celestial team, your multidimensional connectors. Like if you set them free from telling you what to do, what else might you create on this planet? And anything that doesn't allow that goes to the point of trans, passes through and beyond polarity, and all of the emanating creations, miscreations, and uncreations collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disappear, and dissipate as infinite possibilities, because it is the human that is undergoing rapid acceleration back to its original coding. And if you're always moving the human aspect of you to the sidelines, are you then actively contributing to that return to the human as an incredible creator that can call in all of the energies and has great visions to create something incredible on this planet of form? Or you can just say, my guides told me, and dismiss your human aspect. The choice is yours. Both of them are available to you. And this is where the impulse, inviting you to allow the impulse to move you more than the logic, not one or the other. My experience and personal experience, and with many of the clients, is that as you allow the impulse, the logic drops in, right? Like if you, it goes, oh God, that makes sense. Like it made sense to go to the Mac store after. It didn't make sense before, right? What's the logic? I wasn't predicting that there would be a new client there. That's freaky control disguised as intuition. And this impulse, it's sequentially intelligent, even if illogical in the moment. Because when we follow the impulses, it quite often rearranges multiple timelines and outcomes at the same time. And then the logic can catch up after the movement, not before it. If you logicize it, you'll kill it. Now, it's very important here that you, right now in this moment, any and all of the judgments that you have on yourself for getting it wrong, living wrong, and not getting it right, any and all of those judgments that have come into the field right now, can you just, before we dissolve them, can you just feel how unhelpful they are? They're literally like door stoppers, right? They won't let the door open. Not the action, the judgment of the action won't let the door open. Not the action, the judgment of the action, past, present, future. The judgment closes the door, not the action itself. Things are neither right nor wrong, nor good nor bad. You're just jamming the door with your judgment. Whew. Oh, so in this moment, we're actually going to do an activation of your original coding to live without judgment. So take a breath, bring your focus to your hips, let your spine and your legs relate to each other according to your original coding. Let the body sit on the legs and let the legs support the body. Allow the upper back and the neck to extend, your diaphragm to relax, your shoulders to drop, your head to sit on the axis, the very top vertebrae. I'll just let it rearrange itself. And then again, move your whole body to sit on your legs, in your pelvis, to sit according to your original coding. Allow all your muscles, tendons, veins, arteries, capillaries, ligaments, fascia, lymph, nerves, cells, mitochondria, DNA, all your original coding. Whatever wants to light up now, light up, be present, circulate frequency, release your frequency, orient towards the door opener, the impulse, all the original coding that allows you to recognize and respect the impulses of the universe, to feed your body, your being, to fill you up with that expanded excitement. All of that as a reality. for your body and your being simultaneously, like a celebration of possibility, of that sense of connectivity and momentum and continuum. Imagine that your diaphragm is relaxing and there's more space for your heart, more room for your belly, more tenderness in your shoulders, more length in your neck, more power in your legs, more connection in your feet, and in your lower belly, we are activating the coding of opening doors. Everything that indicates for you. Being a conscious door opener for greater consciousness in everything and anything you do. Your presence alone is a door opener. And allowing yourself to acknowledge this, to recognize this, to claim this, and to honor and respect it in all of your choices. Any of the requirements to make a leap of faith or a leap of trust, any of those requirements now, just imagine that you're unhooking yourself from that projection. What if there was no leap of faith? What if there was no leap of trust? What if it's already done? And in that space, can you release yourself from the need for the requirement of, I will have to take a leap of faith to let this activation work. I will have to take a leap of trust to let this activation work. Any and all of that programming across all timelines and dimensions, perceptions and realities, you are simultaneously one big unhook. Pick it up, lift the hook up and out and let it dissolve. If you like, it's rusted away. It's nothing to hold it in place anymore. Any of the meanings and significances that held that in place, all the excuses that you used to delay yourself, to deny yourself, to distrust yourself, any and all of that energy now can rust away instantaneously, spontaneously. You can call it back at any time. That's entirely up to you. In this space, it's completely dissipated. Your original coding of being the door opener by your presence, then by your magic, by impulse, and then the logic falls in behind. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? You didn't think of it because thinking is tiny. Connection and impulse is infinite, and thinking is tiny. What if you replaced thinking as being the key and you replaced it as it's just a trigger? When I say just, let me remove that word. Let's say that thinking is a trigger to impulse. What if thinking is a trigger to connection? And allow all the pressure and the stress of having to be a thinking, functional being, allow all of that programming now to collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disappear, dissipate, and evaporate. It was never what this experience on this planet was about. Never, 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 never. It is the programming. It is the matrix. It is the separation story. It It is the Maya, the disruptive field. And there is a simplicity and a clarity in activating your original coding, which is so bright and so light, it literally disconnects you from the programming unless there's an investment, an identification, or an attachment, which is okay, because the moment you can identify it, it too will fall away. Anything that doesn't allow that goes to the point of trance, passes through and beyond polarity, and all of the emanating creations, miscreations, and uncreations collapse, disintegrate, dissolve, disappear, and dissipate, truly activating up your original coding. Now, this coding sits within the body and is infinitely connected to the being. That's why you and the body are together. There is the clearest connection to this coding. There's no requirement of you to be more of something or to be less of something. The connection is infinite. It's a deeper, deep knowing. It is the collaboration that created your existence on the planet this time. No excuses, no justifications, no karma. Pure intent of joy. So as this pure intent of joy, door opener, awakening mystery of experience that you are, that you be, bring your attention back to your wherever you are. Don't be surprised if it looks different. And this experience would be a great thing to whisper into the ear of your horse. Take me to my original coding. Run with my original coding. Help me run with my original coding. What if you could play with this? What if I more and more consciously know myself as a multi-dimensional, grounded, present door opener, way beyond what has been defined as a human? As a human. What if you started your day with that premise? What if you allowed more impulse? And so it is. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.